Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are tackling a tough topic that many parents experience in their kids. We're diving deep into early signs of regression in children, especially those who are autistic or neurodivergent. You will understand clearly at the end of this video. Number one, what are the early signs of regression that you might miss until it's too late? Number two, how can you tell the difference between a developmental pause and an actual regression? Number three, what situations or changes in routines that commonly trigger regression in autistic or neurodivergent children? Number four, what you should not do when your child starts losing skills they had before. Number five, how do therapists gently reintroduce lost skills without pressuring the child? And a bonus, what can you do to emotionally stay grounded when regression feels like a setback? And if you have noticed your child suddenly stopping words they used to say consistently, or if they seem less interested in social interaction than before, this video is for you. So stick around because I'm breaking down the early warning signs of regression that parents often overlook. And if this is your first time here, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss information that could change your child's path. Let's start off with number one. What are some early signs of regression that you might miss until it's too late? First, your child might stop using words they once spoke regularly. Let's say mama, dada, full phrases, even sentences that they used to say, but now those have suddenly disappeared by the age of 3 or so. You might also notice that they are less engaged socially. They used to make eye contact or respond to their names, but now they seem to retreat into their own little world, avoiding interactions or showing little interest in things that they used to love, such as their favorite food or their favorite places. At first, it can feel like a rough patch or an off day, but early signs like increased tantrums, withdrawals, repetitive stimming behaviors, more disrupted sleep, or even a decline in self-help skills like dressing or toileting can be red flags. Next up, how can you tell the difference between a developmental pause and an actual regression? A developmental pause means that your child is temporarily not gaining new skills, but hasn't lost the ones they had. For example, they might stop learning new words for a while, but still they use the ones that they already know. Regression, on the other hand, means that they actually lose skills they previously had, like suddenly stopping speech altogether. In a nutshell, a developmental pause is a slowdown, but a regression is a loss of abilities. Now, what situations or changes in routine commonly trigger regression in autistic or neurodivergent children? Changes that disrupt a child's sense of safety and routines are often the culprit. This could be something like a new school teacher, moving to a new home, illness, a new sibling, parental stress, lack of sleep, or even changes in diet or medication, or even a specific event that makes a bad impression on them. Interestingly, even positive changes like starting a new therapy can feel overwhelming and trigger regressions if the transition is abrupt. And this is why when a child starts ABA therapy, the sudden change can initially make the child uncomfortable, which may affect their sleep and their mood a little bit. Consistency and predictability are crucial for neurodivergent children to feel safe and thrive. So what should you not do when your child starts losing skills they had before? Do not panic. Do not blame yourself or your child. And don't try to push too hard to get back to where they were. Regression isn't a choice. It is actually a stress response or an internal signal that something is off. Avoid using phrases like, "Oh, you used to know how to do this," which can cause shame or pressure for your child. Instead, meet your child where they currently are and offer patient support to gently help them regain those skills. All right, let's do a quick recap before we move on. When regression happens to your child, it's really important to pause breathe, and approach your child with patience instead of pressure. Also, avoid blaming or harsh reminders of lost skills. Your goal is to support and encourage your child gently and meet your child exactly where they are. Now let's move on to how therapists gently reintroduce lost skills without pressuring the child. They start small and they have to build trust first. Take speech, for example. If a child can make a single sound, the therapist will start there and then shaping that sound into words gradually. Therapists use play and visual supports and routines that naturally bring out skills without forcing the child. Connection always comes first because a regulated and relaxed child is much more likely to engage. And finally, what can you do to emotionally stay grounded and hopeful when regression feels like a setback? First, remember that regression is not your child's failure. It is a normal part of many children's journey, not just children with autism. Every kid can go through it. Two, you need to surround yourself with support system, a therapist, support group, or parents who get it. Three, practice grounding techniques like quiet moments for breathing, a walk in nature, journaling, or talking to someone that you trust. And keep reminding yourself that progress isn't always a straight line. Even with setbacks, your child is moving forward in ways that you might not immediately see. All right, let's quickly recap the 3 early signs of regression to watch for. 1. Stopping previously used words. 2. Withdrawing from social interaction. 3. Losing interest in favorite activities, increased tantrums, more repetitive behaviors, disrupted sleep, and decline in self-help skills. Remember that catching these signs early means you can get the right support and make a huge difference. My name is Ha, and I am a behavior analyst. I have helped many families navigate this challenging but hopeful journey. Drop your questions in the comments. I love hearing your stories and offering guidance. And don't forget to check out my last video on speech delay, signs you shouldn't ignore. It is packed with a lot of actionable tips. Also, hit that subscribe button, and I see you in the next one.